Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Warren.
And I'm Rebecca Thomas. Tonight, a man is speaking out after he says he was drugged while bar hopping with friends on West 6th Street in downtown Austin.
He was found under a bridge with serious injuries. And as he continues to recover nearly a year later, he has a warning for others heading out on the town at night.
Fox 7 Austin's John Krinjak joins us live along West 6th with his story. John.
Yeah, Rebecca, Mike, Jeff Jones went off this bridge. He landed down there next to Shoal Creek below. He says he doesn't believe he fell. He's pretty sure he was pushed, but he's not positive. One thing that is for sure, he doesn't remember any of it. 38-year-old Jeff Jones of Boston was visiting Austin with some friends for a bachelor party in June of last year. They arrived on Thursday the 22nd, had dinner, and headed to some bars on West 6th.
It hadn't felt strange at all. Hadn't been drinking heavily.
The next thing he remembers is waking up in the hospital a week later.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Jones's friends say he disappeared around 1 a.m. after talking to some women at a bar.
I don't really know, if specifically people had led me away.
3 hours later, he was found in a ravine next to Shoal Creek under the 6th Street Bridge.
And it's a 3 or 4 foot wide old stone bridge. So for me to actually have somehow fallen over it would have been almost impossible. I would have either have had to been pushed or, been climbing on it myself.
Whoever found him called 911. He was apparently conscious at the time, but doesn't remember a thing.
I broke a number of vertebrae, also my left scapula, and 2 ribs, and there was a puncture wound through my elbow.
Medics rushed him to Del Seaton Medical Center, where he tested positive for benzodiazepines, which include the date rape drug Rohypnol.
There's no reason why I would have had that in my system. I was having drinks and very easily could have gotten drugged by someone.
He was put into a medically induced coma as he underwent back surgery, doctors implanting metal rods.
And then also they went into my chest area to remove my spleen and stop some hemorrhaging in my kidneys and liver and lungs. So quite a mess.
After initially being revived, he had to have fluid drained from his lungs. He then spent a month recovering at his sister's house in New Hampshire. What did the doctors tell you about how serious this was?
I mean, incredibly lucky. If I had landed up obviously on my head or my neck, I think that would have been much worse.
Looking back, Jones urges people to keep a close eye on their drinks, given recent cases of people being drugged, as well as bodies found in Lady Bird Lake, which police don't believe to be suspicious, but which have left bargoers looking over their shoulder.
I don't know if it's a serial killer. I don't know if it's criminal behavior, people just trying to take advantage of others.
Nearly a year later, Jones is still doing occupational therapy and will soon get those rods removed, but he's doing much better, looking forward to running a 5-mile race this weekend.
Trying to live life to the fullest now and just feel really lucky that I have kind of a second shot at things.
Now, the city has taken several steps in the last couple of years, including the Safer 6th Street initiative in this area, as well as installing cameras and lights around bars in the Rainey Street district. The city has also implemented what is called the Sip Safely initiative. The goal of that is to raise awareness about spiked drinks. Now, despite all this, Jones says he's not opposed to returning to Austin sometime. We're live here on West 6th Street. I'm John Krinjak, Fox 7 Austin News.